Alright, how to get the Scorched Guns 2 mod. This mod is actually quite simple to obtain. It's a weapons mod with very good animations, and it's really well optimized, okay? So you'll be able to use it on any device, I think, or rather on any computer. Now we'll head over to CurseForge and search for Scorched Guns 2, as you can see here. There, as you can see, it has 2 million players. It was created 2 years ago with the latest update just 7 days ago. We'll click on Mod Loader, select the software we want, in this case Forge, and choose our preferred version. Then we'll click the 3 buttons and get file and save this file in minecraft.mod folder. Also, as you can see, we'll need Curious, the framework, and GeckoLib, okay? If we go here to relations, we can see Curious, the framework also appears, and GeckoLib, okay? Important if in relation types we suddenly click, okay, yes it does appear. Before, I don't know why, it hadn't appeared. I don't know if I changed it accidentally. No, I don't know. They hadn't appeared to me before, okay? For the Curious API framework and GeckoLib, just go to Files, Mod Loaders, Forge, select version 1.20.1, and click Get File, okay? So yeah, it's that simple. Once we have these 3 mods, well, or rather 4 mods, we go to the Minecraft launcher, and from there we can run Forge with all the mods. Important, where are the files stored? They're saved in Windows + R, type app data, go to Minecraft and the mods folder, okay? If it doesn't exist, right click New and Mods, okay? That's it. Alright, how do you get the Macerator in Scorched Guns 2? Well, basically let's see how it's crafted. You need a furnace, 3 cobblestone, and 4 smooth stone slabs. It's used for pulverizing materials within the mod itself, allowing us to get different types of powders, sometimes doubling materials, and it's key for producing ammunition, fuels, chemical powders, and more advanced components. As we can see, it lets us make gunpowder, but as I mentioned, all kinds of powders, from phosphor dust to shield to peel. Sometimes it even allows us to duplicate the output, okay? For example, 1 blaze rod gives 4 blaze powder, which doubles the normal amount. It lets us create iron blend, right? And unlock many minerals and ores, or rather ingots, that we'll need later in the mod. Alright, so how can we use the stamping press? First, let's look at the crafting recipe. As you can see, it's made with 5 cobblestone and 2 iron, right? Though we can use treated iron too, we'll be using regular iron and iron blocks here. Why am I saying we'll use iron blocks? Well, to get treated iron, we'd need treated iron blend, which requires iron anyway. So going through that whole conversion process doesn't make much sense. So what's the stamping press used for? Well, it's used for making music discs. As you can see, the mod has added quite a few tracks, right? Looks like 2, maybe more. I'm not sure if there are others. It's also used to craft cannons frames, okay? Also magazines, metal parts, and special ammunition. And it's important to ensure that all blueprints require this table to craft weapons, okay? Blueprints are like, well, they allow us to craft weapons, and obviously we'll need all kinds of items that are crafted through this stamping press. So as you can see there, it seems it just needs fuel and not much else. It also depends on these molds, okay? These molds, look, there we have it, blank mold, which you get with stone cutting, right? So you can see a bit how to obtain the molds. There we have it, okay? A blank mold, and with stone cutting we can get, for example, all these molds here. So just imagine. How to use the electric versions of machines in Scorched Guns 2. Basically, the electric versions of the Macerator and press work faster, but they require energy from the polar generator, okay? I'll first show you how to craft the powered Macerator, which needs a blast furnace and a lightning battery. Quick to say, but requires anthrolite. It tells us information. It can be used to store energy and to obtain plasma or shock cells. It can be charged with FE power or by placing a lightning rod on top to attract lightning. That's interesting. And we'll need anthrolite, right? Anthrolite is obtained this way by smelting deep slate and such. So yeah, we get it there in the overworld. And then we have the stamping press, okay? Made with iron, we'll make it with iron, plus another lightning battery, blast furnace, and so on. Then we have the polar generator, which is made with the copper disc. I'll show you now, okay? The redstone block and blast furnace. And how do we get the copper disc? Well, with a normal stamping press, we make a copper block and a disc mold. The disc mold is made with stone cutting. We make a blank mold and pass it through. That's it. The blank mold is made with 5 anthrolite, got it? So it's quite a complex crafting process, pretty involved. Once we have this, we'll need coal to smelt and generate energy, okay? Energy that right now, as you can see, is being used to charge the things next to it. There we have the Fe energy, okay? And once it's charged, we can use the stamping press without any problem. On the plus side, these use energy, yes, but they don't need coal like in previous versions, okay? So, well, every cloud has a silver lining. And actually, I think it's much more optimal to use this, because as you can see with just one coal, we've almost filled all 3 inventories. And I don't know how much the consumption would be, but there you see it. 1,000 energy, and we just filled with 1 coal, 1 energy that maybe I just generated 100,000 energy with 1 coal, right? No, not 100,000, but 50,000, 16,000, 32,000. This is over 50,000, and the coal hasn't even been used up yet. Imagine that. Just imagine, okay? So approximately 1 coal will be maybe, well, I estimate about 64,000 energy. They probably made it a round number to look nice. So yeah, and the consumption, as you can see, is basically 0, 500 energy, 500. You're not going to waste energy, okay? And, well, it's pretty much the same thing. Well, I don't know if it gives us access to better things, okay? I'm going to check it. Utilities, 22 craftings and utilities. It might give us access to different elements too, beyond just being faster and all that. But anyway, it's a process we're definitely going to need, because obviously the other 2 are very expensive and not worth it. I also recommend that you can connect the batteries, right? Theoretically. Lighting battery. How much does this battery store? Only 32,000. Wow, that's actually pretty small, but okay. There we have it. Alright, let's build the gun crafting table. The recipe is 1 iron, 2 planks, and 1 flint. Basically, what it does is allow you to craft base weapons, okay? By combining different elements. So let's go to utilities, and as you can see, these items are no joke. We have 49 recipes, which means all the mods weapons are here. And like I said, we'll need the blueprint, okay? Federal blueprint, which has its own recipe. We'll need a trophy, papers, craft blueprints, and many items that aren't easily obtained, but probably through research and such. And as you can see, we definitely need the gun grip barrel. We'll need different parts, and as you can see, these recipes aren't cheap at all. I highly recommend JI, okay, to see how to craft each item, utilities, and so on. Because with 50 different weapons, I can't show you each one individually. That's just too many. So yeah, there we have it. Watch how to craft your first gun in Scourge Guns 2 for Minecraft. For a basic pistol, we'll need the gun bench, and let's say we want to make a simple pistol, okay? First of all, we'll need a gun grip, which is basically what lets you hold the weapon. We'll need planks, flints, and cobblestone. Besides that, we'll also need a stone gun barrel. With all these materials, we can make the flintlock pistol, okay? We'll also need an antique blueprint. I'll explain later how to get it without any problems. This is pretty easy, just paper and flint. Now we just go here and move the items around, and we can make the flintlock pistol, okay? Not bad for a starter weapon. I'm not sure how much damage it does, but 10 health points, okay? 10 health points to the body and 10 health points for a headshot too. So there you have it. Alright, how do we craft basic ammunition? Basic ammunition starts with gravel, okay? We're going to need pebbles, alright? With gravel we can make pebbles, which is this right here, see? Get 4 pebbles, and we'll get this in powder and ball, okay? With gunpowder, which we can also make with pebbles, fat guano, and charcoal. So with this, we make the powder and ball, and basically with this, we can start making our first ammunition, right? Obviously, this is very, very slow ammunition, okay? So we're going to need patience. Also, as you can see, while reloading the ammo, the player moves slowly, so keep that in mind too. This way we can create our first projectiles to reload weapons in survival mode and such. And well, to reload a weapon, you obviously press R like in all video games, just in case someone still doesn't know. So that's it. It's this simple to start using our first weapon without any problem. Alright, how do we get minerals from the Scorched Guns 2 mod? Well, basically this mod adds various minerals to both the overworld and the nether. First of all, there's anthrolite, right? It appears as a basic ore, and when smelted, it transforms into ingots useful for weapons and armor. Then we have sulfur, which generates in special veins and is processed with mod machines to obtain powders. We also have vehement coal, okay? Let me show you what it looks like. This coal serves as both advanced fuel and as ingredients for other crafting recipes, and mining these veins is obviously mandatory to progress in the mod. And there are more ores, right? Like Niper, for example. Niper appears. Well, if we take Niper itself and press R, I think it was... There it is. Information. It can be obtained from geothermal vent. As you can see, it's added some structures, but none seem to be from the mod or labeled geothermal vent, but basically it appears near water, okay? So that's it. It's that simple. Look, how to use anthrolite as a key resource. Anthrolite is the new iron in Scorched Guns 2 for Minecraft. When you smelt the ore, you get anthrolite ingots to craft starter weapons, armor, sights, and even metal detector. Its protection level is similar or slightly lower than iron, but it's used much more in mod recipes than vanilla iron. Always keep some anthrol ingots for grips, weapon frames, and intermediate parts. Alright, how do we process sulfur and phosphorus? Well, basically here we have phosphorus and sulfur. And basically these two elements aren't processed in regular ovens, but instead in the macerator, okay? The macerator, let me show you. There it is. It allows us to get phosphor dust. Let's see, if we put in the raw phosphorus, it will produce phosphor dust, as you can see. And the same goes for the sulfur chunk. We put it in the macerator and it produces sulfur dust. The phosphorus mineral transforms, as you've seen, into powder that combines with other materials to create specialized charges and enhanced cake. It's important not to process all the ore if you also want to use it as direct fuel, okay? So that's it, it's that simple. Look, how can we make the most of vehement coal? Well, basically it's another resource from Scorched Guns 2, and basically besides being a high temperature fuel, it's used in special machines that modify the environment, okay? It lets us craft volcanic weapons, as we're seeing, helps smelt 24 items, helps us get this ammunition, the scorched blends, and can power the mod's generators, okay? It's best to save vehement coal for technical uses rather than wasting it on basic or smelting, because there are other things we can use for smelting, like regular coal, which is only good for that, okay? So we're not sacrificing one utility for another, but using each resource for its intended purpose, letting us save vehement coal for crafting instead of just fuel. So how do you generate power with the polar generator? Well, basically the polar generator is the main power source in Scorched Guns 2, and it's crafted with, well, with what you'll see here, a copper disc, furnace, and other components. The copper disc is made with a disc mold, and you make the disc mold with a stone cutter. Just put in the blank mold and that's it. And you need 5 anthrite for that, okay? So it's pretty simple. Basically, you fuel it with coal or other minerals. As it consumes fuel, a red bar fills up indicating that power is being generated, and any machine placed on top of or next to the generator will automatically receive power, including macerators, powered presses, and so on. Keeping this generator active powers your entire production chain, got it? Alright, how can we use the lightning battery? Well, this battery stores energy in Scorched Guns 2 for Minecraft and is crafted with copper blocks and advanced components. Here we have a copper block, 4 anthrite, 4 redstone dust. As we can see, it says, can be used to store energy and obtain plasma or shock cells. It can be used or charged with Fe. It seems the lightning battery, if we look at its utility, gives us plasma, energy shards, and energy cores. Watch out, okay? Shock cells? So quite a few useful things, and we can place a lightning rod on top, right? And if lightning strikes it, it will charge. The truth is, I'm not really sure about that. Let's grab a lightning rod, put it on top and see how much it charges, okay? Command summon lightning, boom, and it didn't charge anything. So on top of that, the lightning has to be natural, since we can't know what will be charging us. It's supposed to be so difficult because the lightning has to be natural. No, one generated in creative mode won't work. Well, that's a shame. But basically, this is what this battery is used for, okay? It has some simple crafting recipes and is another essential element of the mod, okay? Because we're definitely going to need it to make these more advanced elements. Alright, how can we craft casings and cells in Scorched Guns 2? Basically, casings are the foundation of almost all ammunition in the Scorched Guns 2 mod, okay? Well, obviously they're used for all ammunition both in this mod and outside it. These are basically crafted using the press, okay? Whether it's a powered press or an unpowered one. We need the small casing mold made with stone coating and a blank mold. The only thing that will change the type of casing we make is the ingot we use, okay? I don't think the mold wears out, okay? It doesn't make sense for it to wear out, it's a mold. So you can see all the casings available. Small, large, long, even from different minerals. I assume what varies is the quantity, or oh no, it's just the mold that varies, okay? They give us 6, 10, and 14, okay? So the smaller the casing, the more ammunition we get. Obviously, it's best to produce separate batches and organize them in chests or ammo boxes to avoid mixing calibers. So just keep that in mind. So how do we create copper and iron bullets? Alright, well basically it's pretty simple to make. Standard bullets combine casings, powder, gunpowder, and metal ingots, okay? For example, here we have compact copper rounds made with iron nuggets, small copper casing, no mold, and gunpowder dust from gunpowder. Then we also have iron bullets, which come in many varieties, okay? Like these hot rounds or others, like microjet. So there are tons of bullet types. Let me see if searching for rounds shows more. Look, there, we have more. Like the compact advanced round, which depends on what weapon you need, but this one's made with anthrite, okay? With all this, we can manufacture different ammunition without any problem. We could also farm rockets. Here's the rocket, which is made with shell, right? Shell dust. The shell dust comes from blaze powder, sulfur, glowstone, and more. Just check with Jay what elements we need for each ammunition type and craft accordingly. Alright, how can we use ammunition boxes? Ammunition boxes are used to store and group specific types of bullets. There are boxes for pistols, rifles, shotguns, rockets, magnums, energy, okay? There's also the creative one that gives us unlimited ammo when in creative mode. And the ammo box, which we can find or craft, that lets us store any type of item inside. It's basically a chest, but with this aesthetic. For example, if we have compact copper rounds, we'll want to store them in the pistol ammo box. We just right click, and as you can see, it allows us to store them. It's actually letting me store more than I thought. I'm not sure what the maximum is. And there we have it, 15, 16 slots, okay. 16 slots, which is 4x4. It's important that some turrets can read these boxes through storage modules, receiving ammo without manually reloading slot by slot. Obviously these are essential, but you don't need to carry all of them. Just take the ones you'll actually use, okay? This helps store all your ammo if you carry a lot, which makes sense, right? So it's that simple. Very well, how to craft grenades and bombs, okay? There are quite a few in the Scorched mod. We have explosives, right? We have explosive grenades, gas grenades, beacon grenades, and stun grenades, literally. I mean, look at what just... Yes, you're freaking out. We have, let's see, bomb blunt. Okay, well, this isn't a bomb. We have this fire one. We have this... There it is, like a freezing one. This other one, which I think is like poison, and the nail one. And I've seen some more, okay? I've seen some others too. And well, the basic grenades use backshot, okay? A flower pot and a stick. Then we can move to grenades with sulfur dust, phosphorus dust, okay? Beacon grenades, stone grenades, and so on, got it? There are special bombs, okay, that apply area effects like the worn and nail bombs I just showed you. They all consume valuable resources, so it's best to save them for large enemy groups or truly critical situations. I have to say, the damage isn't very high though, okay? Like, if I spawn an iron golem here and throw a grenade at it, don't expect it to die. Unfortunately, it only took 20 health, and now look, 19 health. So it doesn't take that much health, but in my opinion, it should do more damage. It's a grenade after all, but it has a very small explosion radius. Well, that's just how it is, you know? It's not that impressive, but it should take away maybe 80 health, which would seem much fairer. I mean, if a player gets hit by one, they should die regardless of what armor they're wearing, right? You shouldn't be able to tank a grenade with how complex this mod is, where you have these powerful ranged weapons. Landing a grenade on someone is almost impossible, okay? Not for nothing, but because they'll be destroying you first, so... If someone actually manages to hit you with a grenade, it should definitely eliminate you, or at least that's what I think, huh? Alright, so the Scorched Guns mod also adds various mobs, such as the Sky Carrier, right? It basically flies around and takes quite a bit of health, and as you can see, it drops different mod items like ammunition and other elements. We also have the Swarm, which is a swarm that will poison us if we get too close, okay? As you just saw, it will drain your health. And then we also have the supply scam, right? When defeated, it gives us gunpowder and lots of other resources, as we're seeing now. It even gives us a signal beacon and more. Hey, important, look at the blueprint scraps, okay? That's an item that can't be crafted. And now we know it's obtained from mobs. Important to note, there are tons of mobs, okay? They're strong mobs, even if they don't seem like it. They take away health, and although they drop bullets and components, it's important to keep that in mind, okay? So we could make a simple farm with elevated areas and easy cover to farm them without taking too much damage. That could be a good idea, though it's a bit complicated. But hey, having a bullet farm could be a really good idea, honestly. Right, how do we craft armor from the Scorched Guns mod? Scorched Guns includes several armor types, right? For example, the Anthrolite armor here looks awesome and offers 7.5 armor points, similar to iron armor, just like iron armor. And check out this armor piece, the treated brass helmet, right? Which gives us I'll show you the crafting recipes too, but honestly they're pretty straightforward, okay? It's almost as good as diamond armor. It's worth noting there are special pieces like masks and helmets that you can only get by defeating certain mobs, and combining mod armor with firearms lets you specialize in ranged combat while maintaining solid defense. We have, for example, the scrap helmet and leggings, right? This is that armor right here. Well, there you have it. Full diamond gear and I still get one shot. Unbelievable. This is incredible. This bug just killed me with one hit. Wait, it killed me with one hit, but it also completely destroyed my armor, you know? So you can see how tough these creatures are. They're no joke at all. And this one too. Well, this one, with the armor I'm wearing, I can still do something, but look how it damages my armor, huh? Look how it wears down my armor. Well, what is this armor even made of? It doesn't say, does it? I don't know, but it's melting it. And here's this one too, which is a bit more role-playing style, more elegant and all, but it's still role-playing, right? It's a much more vulnerable armor. And also, there are helmets, okay? Part of the armor, which is kind of what I told you. Like for example, this netherite respirator, which offers basically similar protection to the netherite helmet, combining aesthetics and defense, okay? We have this diamond steel, this upgraded diamond steel armor, the anthrite respirator, and more. So there you have it. Good. How do weapon blueprints work within the Scorched Guns mod? These blueprints are key to the weapon system, as each weapon requires one or more specific materials like copper, iron, treated brass, or other elements like diamond, oceanic, piglin. Without a blueprint, you can't complete the recipe, okay? To show you, if we go here, it requires us to use this blueprint. Blueprints work similar to blacksmithing molds. They're consumed when used, so it's best to duplicate them before using them, okay? Although it doesn't seem they can be duplicated, honestly. So I understand that you have to use it right away. How do you get copper and iron blueprint? Well, the initial copper and iron blueprints in Scorched Guns are obtained by trading with the MOD's Gunsmith villager or by defeating the supply provider within the MOD itself. These blueprints unlock basic low and mid-level weapons and are ideal for starting your arsenal. When you get multiple copies, you can set some aside for duplicating and others for crafting weapons. Got it? Farming and protecting these types of villagers will guarantee a steady flow of initial blueprint. It also seems they have crafting recipes today using flint and blue paper, okay? We have this one here and another made with the rusty metal, but we'd need that item and a bunch of course, all the others require trophies, and each trophy is obtained in its own way, right? But anyway, we have these two initial blueprints that we can start with. Alright, how do you get advanced blueprints in Scorched Guns? The more advanced blueprints, like those for printed brass armor, diamond armor, ocean armor, right? The Piglin Deep Dark and End blueprints. All these represent advanced levels and can be found in dungeon chests, bastions, ancient cities, ocean treasure chests, or from the Wandering Trader. Each blueprint group gives access to more powerful weapons with better damage and reload speeds than the basic ones. So we just need to collect these trophies, okay? That's what we need to make blueprints, simply by looting and searching around. Obviously, the best is the Scorch blueprint because it combines all other blueprints with a Scorch ingot, which isn't easy to get either with netherite and such. And we'd get the most powerful weapons. Well, it lists Flayed Goat, Neverpinch, the Rat King and Queen, everything. And with this, we'd have the best weapons. Actually, not just theoretically, I can tell you they're the best weapons in the mod. Obviously, they're very difficult to obtain. Alright, how do you get the Scorch blueprint? Well, basically these blueprints are the highest tier plans in Scourge Guns 2, and you get them by combining all previous blueprints, right? As you can see, plus a Scorch ingot. By doing this, you'll unlock the most powerful weapons in the MOD. with the highest damage and best reload speed. These weapons are expensive to craft, but they represent the final progression stage for players within the mod. And, well, we can show them off here, or show one example like the Flayed Guard, right? Which has this laser-like effect. Let's spawn an Iron Golem so you can see how quickly it melts. We also have the Never Pinch, okay? This one here that lets you charge your shot, right? We also have Terra Incognita, which is more explosive in nature. We also have a Stella. I'm not sure how much damage one bullet just did. Wow, 56 damage. We have the Earth's Corpse, okay, which is more like a rifle type weapon. The Prima Materia, a much more standard weapon. We also have the Rat King and Queen, which is just pure luxury. I mean, it's just, you can go around doing this and nothing happens. The Locust, which again, another rifle, but this one fires in bursts of 3 shots. We have the Atom Sterilizer, a weapon that's a bit more unique. And we also have the Newborn Seed, which is basically a shotgun, okay? It does an insane amount of damage, honestly. So yeah, that's it, pretty simple. Alright, how do we duplicate blueprints? Well, basically, to avoid losing a unique blueprint, it's best to duplicate it on the crafting table. Before using it, the process works similar to copying grid templates. You combine the blueprint with basic materials to get an extra copy, so you can always keep an original and only use copies at the weapons table. Got it? Duplicating blueprints is necessary when a recipe requires multiple units of the same type. I have to say that in this version I don't see how to duplicate them, so I'm going to think this through. Let's see paper. For example here, blueprint scrap. And what I'm thinking is that in this version, snapped cogwheel. Let's see snapped. The thing is, the trophy isn't consumed when crafting, okay? Which makes sense to me because otherwise it would be crazy, right? So let's put the snapped here and add the paper and blueprint. And there we have the woodwrecker, and well, it's been used up, huh? Yeah, it's been used up. And if I put it back in the center and do the same thing again, nothing happens. That's pretty crazy. As you can see, right click to view the recipes. I right click on it, nothing happens. Well, you can see it there, but yeah, no, I don't see any way to duplicate these items, okay? Not with a crafting table or anything. Maybe in older versions you could, but not now. So if anyone knows how, please tell me. So I'll show how to use Gunsmith villagers in Scorched Guns 2, where the weapon table converts nearby villagers into specialized gunsmith. These villagers sell blueprints, upgrades, and occasionally weapon artifacts and other items. The wandering trader can also offer rare blueprints like treated brass or diamond ones, okay? So keeping a village safe with these professions lets us buy blueprints without relying completely on random chest loot. Let's grab some emeralds here to see what level the villager can reach and what they can offer us, okay? So we're going to level them up. There it is. Copper flare, they've already given us pistols, which is pretty good, right? So a pistol already, it costs quite a bit to craft, so you can see the crafting process. Oh no, there it is. The crafting for this pistol is this one here. It's the most basic. It gives us extended mag, okay? Well, different gun parts and elements. And now we're getting the long scope, which is more interesting. This other weapon, I'm not sure how advanced it is, honestly. No, I think it's one of the most basic ones, actually. But anyway, we have it now, and I think we can attach the long scope, right? Or maybe it's not worth it. Okay, then we have it, and let's see what it gives me in the end. Well, this ammo costs 32 and gives 100 brass, huh? It's asking me for that. Oh my goodness. Although it says here that it summons something. Let's see. It says, summons the Federal Armament Consortium, repowers flare pistol to use. Flare pistol, no flare in offhand, got it. We put it in the offhand, and here comes the Federal Warlord. Yeah, right. So it's a way of summoning. There it is, there it is. Yes, yes. To summon raids, basically. These creatures can take a hit, but still. Very interesting, huh? Very well, how to use optical accessories in Scorched Guns 2. This mod offers several optical accessories like reflex sights and laser sights. It also has different scopes, okay? Like medium and long range ones. To place them on weapons, simply grab any gun and press Z. As you can see now, I can equip these attachments, allowing me to know exactly where my bullet will go with this red dot, okay? I can equip a long scope to shoot at greater distances, making aiming much easier, right? I think bullets have some drop, okay? A bit of fall, so keep that in mind. But not much though. Almost none at all, actually. And this way we can do what you're seeing now. Going from seeing something super far away to making it appear right next to you. We also have the red dot, which is a bit more challenging to use. In fact, I missed that shot. And that's it. This is how we can equip any type of attachment. Well, how can we put silencers on our weapons? In Scotch Guns 2, they include both basic and advanced versions. For example, there it is, silencer, right? Silencer. Let's look at crafting. It's made with lime, wool and iron, or the advanced silencer with sponges and anthrolite. Basically press Z to equip it if the weapon allows it, of course. I wonder what kind of weapon will let me do this. Let's see, Z. Not this one. A musket, perhaps. No, a pistol. Not that either. Look, I found one here that allows me to equip a silencer. Oh, and actually all of these, well, almost all of them, okay? This way we can apply a silencer, though why we'd want one in single player I don't really understand. But if we're playing with other players, having a silencer can be useful so nearby players. It's not that they won't hear you, they will, but it's harder to tell where shots are coming from, especially at long range. So that's it, it's that simple. Just press the letter Z, got it? Look at how we can improve magazines and reload time in Scourge Guns 2. The magazine upgrades in Scourge Guns 2 include the extended mag and also the speed mag. Basically, mag means ammunition, okay? These parts are placed in the row dedicated to loading, got it? For example, a whistler. Okay, the whistler won't let me attach it properly, so let's take this one. And as you can see, it lets me attach that extended mag, increasing capacity from 7 to 14. Hear that? 7, 14. And then we could add the speed mag, right? Which basically makes it reload faster, reduces recoil and more. This is done with the gun magazine, okay? The gun magazine is made with anthrolite nugget. Beyond that, as you can see, it also lets us craft the extended mag and speed mag without any issues. So these are pretty easy crafting recipes. Look at how to use grips and stocks. The grips and stocks in Scorched Guns include the light grip, vertical grip and others. We also have the light stock, weighted stock, wooden stock and bump stock, okay? For the stock options. We also have varieties of different materials. Basically press Z to attach the stock as you can see and also add the grip, okay? If we want a light grip or a vertical grip, okay? This helps control recoil, improve stability, and in the case of the bayonet, add melee damage to the weapon, okay? Now let's look at crafting. It's done with the light grip, pretty easy, okay? The light grip. We also have the vertical grip, more of the same, super easy. The light stock, just cheap crafting. Weighted stock too, wooden stock too, and bump stock. Well, the heavy gun part is a bit more elaborate, with a chest. Oh, with a chest, with an anthrite block or a tested iron block and gun parts mold, which is made with stone quarrying and such. Here we have some of the critical chance stats, plus 5%, plus 5% ADS speed, minus 15% recoil. So it has different, each one has its positive aspects, okay? So I think it's worth reading them a bit, and depending on the weapon, we'll use one or we'll use another, right? It's obvious. Alright, how do you access the weapon modification menu in Scotch Guns 2? To modify any weapon, you need to hold the weapon in your hand and press Z. This opens a menu divided into rows, one bar for optics, one for the silencer, another for the stock, another for the grip, and finally, one for the sight. When you add an upgrade, the weapon model changes in first-person view, physically showing the attachment you've placed. From this menu, you can also check the slots you have available for future upgrades or view all the weapons' stats. Alright, so we have the turrets here, okay? And how to craft and use them. Well, we have a ton of turrets within the mod itself, okay? Enemy turrets, ammo turret. Well, these are modules, okay? And basically they have different crafting recipes, okay? The sniper turret is made with the gun bench. There it is. Shotgun turret, auto turret, and basic turret, okay? As you can see, they have lots of, as I mentioned, different crafting recipes. This enemy turret won't show me the crafting. I understand why. And basically, how do they work? Well, they must be placed on top of a redstone block, okay? That's important. So let's place the sniper turret on top of a redstone block. It acts as a constant power source, and some turrets will need special bullets and such, okay? As you can see, it says turret needs targeting module, okay? And that's because turrets work with modules, okay? For example, it shows us the energy required and specifically says targeting module, right? Targeting. And here we have the hostile mode, the player mode, and the universal mode, okay? So we just connect it to target hostile mobs or players, okay? If I switch to survival mode now, it should target me. Well, maybe it doesn't because I'm the owner, but... Or in universal mode, okay? so we'll set it to hostile mode, okay? And there it starts targeting, as you can see, the zombie directly. We also need an ammo module because otherwise this turret won't be able to shoot. Ammo turret module, we place it here. And this is where we'd put the bullets, okay? As you can see, this is for sniper. And if we have the turret and press shift, it shows what ammo it accepts, like shatter rounds. Shatter. So let's find the shatter rounds and load them in, okay? And now when we spawn a zombie, it will shoot it, okay? With its firing rate. So really, it was pretty easy. Then theoretically, it has energy consumption and so on, but honestly, I don't see it using much energy at all. And there are other modules like the turret damage module, the fire rate turret module. I understand this is to increase the firing rate. Boom, boom. Indeed, it increases the firing rate. There's also shell catcher, right, to collect, wonderful, to collect the ammo it ejects, since normally it would just discard it. All these are modules we can add to the turret itself, so it works without any issues, okay? Okay, how do you configure team and enemy books in Sports Guns 2? These are team logbooks, right? And theoretically, there's also the enemy log, as we can see. Let's take a look at the crafting recipes. Team log with a book and 3 threatened irons, okay? It says, used to blacklist mobs that a turret will shoot at. And then we have the enemy log, which is more of the same. So basically, I understand we would take a mob, right-click it, and then we'd have it registered, right? Then we'd go to the turret, put it in, and the turret would take care of greeting that mob, right? So these would be the team ones, and if we use the enemy ones, we're training the turret to only attack. Oh, it now appears as whitelisted. It's important that if we right-click, we'll save the specific mob as is, and if we shift right-click, we'll save its entire species. Obviously, I'll need to use the universal to retargeting module here. Let's place a zombie over here to see if it attacks it, because theoretically it should only attack iron golems. Let's see if that's true, or if with the universal module it just ignores that rule. Well, it doesn't. See, we add the universal module since, after all, iron golems aren't hostile, right? So we put the universal module and add the enemy log so it attacks iron golems, for example. If we wanted it to attack players, well, now you know how, okay? So that's it. It's that simple. How to improve turret range, damage, and fire rate. We have the fire rate module made with 2 copper discs, 3 anthrolite, and 2 iron ingots, which basically improves the shooting speed. We have the damage module, right? The damage rate module. These modules improve damage and range, which extends how far the turret can shoot, okay? I just removed the module. One way or another, our turret needs a targeting module. There's hostile, which attacks hostile mobs, player, or universal. I'll use universal, which means it would attack me. Or not. No, because it's mine, right? Okay, so it already has the fire rate module. Let's add I can't remove the ammo module, right? Well, let's add the damage module. Let's put a zombie here so you can see how the damage increases. If we put 2 fire rate modules on it, I'm not sure if it'll shoot faster. No, the speed seems to be the same. I'll remove both fire rate modules so you can see it'll take much longer to shoot now, okay? Let's also add the range module. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I added range and now it's shooting way out there. Look, it's shooting over there. It's shooting right there. I wonder how much extra range this module actually adds. But seriously, where is it even shooting? I can't even see the targets. Can't see them at all. It's shooting at the chicken. Wow, but it's not even hitting it, huh? It's not hitting anything. This turret's not very good, is it? For jokes, obviously, since the shots are so far away. It struggles, but it does hit sometimes. Yeah, right, if you're looking for efficiency, I can't even see. I hadn't even noticed them. I can't even talk properly. There's a mob there. Why isn't it attacking? No, because it probably can't see it, right? So anyway, these are the modules. So how do we recycle the casings? Okay, well there's a module that prevents the turret from dropping casings on the ground like it normally would. It's called the shell catcher. You can see it just added 45. Every time it fires, the casing goes here instead. This happens with the shell catcher module, which automatically collects each casing when the turret fires. This is really useful for reusing bullets when needed, as it reduces metal resource consumption, especially when using large quantities of ammunition. So it's good to keep that in mind. Alright, let's explain how to use the special blocks and machines added by this mod. It adds several new machines like the vent collector, which basically, as its name suggests, collects resources from geothermal vent. We'll find these geothermal vents and the collector will gather niter or sulfur from them. Okay? When placed on top of a vent, you can see it collecting niter, or when placed on a sulfuric vent, it collects sulfur. Let's see, sulfuric vent, there it is. Basically, I think it produces an item periodically and the collector gathers it automatically. It's crafted like this. Next, we have the Cryonetter, which freezes nearby water blocks when you insert coal. Got it? Pretty straightforward. Here's its crafting recipe using a niter block. And then we have the Thermolith, which does a little bit of the opposite. Okay, we put coal in it and it says objects around it will melt. Or rather, nearby rock will melt, turning into lava. Okay, let's try it out. I think this counts as stone, right? Let's grab some coal. No, it doesn't seem to work. I don't know if... it needs behemoth coal, right? Let's see. And there it is, it's working now. And there it is, it's starting to melt the nearby blocks into lava. Okay, you can see it there. It's not fully exposed yet because it hasn't reached that point, but we'll see it soon. We'll see it shortly. And there we have it, okay? So yeah, look. Accepted fuel, behemoth coal and plasma, and the Cryonetter, needs packed ice, blue ice, or niter dust. So we take niter dust, put it in, and now it's working, now it works. Okay, so that's it, it's that simple. And with this, we're going to finish the mod review. After about 3 hours covering it, it has a bunch more mobs, okay? It has tons of weapons that I obviously didn't want to showcase one by one because you'd kill me, okay? If I did a showcase weapon by weapon, you'd ask what I'm doing. So that's it. Keep that in mind and I'll see you in future videos.